Welcome to Karibu Anawim's program, 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk, where we explore topics related to living with a facial disfigurement. This program is for you, your loved ones, for educational purposes and professionals who would like to know more about living with facial disfigurement. Our presenters have lived experience, research background, or work with people living with facial disfigurement. It's important to begin the conversation with terminology that society understands and is clear. We use the word disfigurement as it is the medical and legal terminology. We recognise you may identify with other words such as visible difference or with your own diagnosis. Let's see where the conversation goes. So pull up a seat, grab a cuppa, and let's chat around the table with Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk.
Hi, I'm Dr. Zali and I'm your host today for 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk. And this week we're chatting about your questions that you've brought in. If you've got any questions as we go along and you're live, thank you very much for coming in and thank you very much for coming on board. Thank you very much. April's topic was navigating relationships. We've looked at past, present, and future. We've looked at navigating through family relationships. Last week we talked about navigating our own through expectations. And this week, as I said, it's time for question and answer, or as my child said, it should be, Mum, it should be question and ideas, which is possibly more suitable language, because not everything that I might say, even though it's backed up with either research, anecdotal data, or lived experience, or a feel, it may not be your cup of tea. So, without ado, shall we get into the questions that we have? I'm just meandering through and bringing up the banners for us. Okay. The first question that you've had for us today is, I don't feel good about myself at the moment. How do I feel better? Well, sometimes it's okay not to feel okay, isn't it? And it depends on how long you've felt this way. But my tips are to acknowledge your feelings and to label your feelings. So give space for your feelings to come. You know, one way might be to create a daily space. For example, 10 minutes a day at a specific time, just for this example, say 10 o'clock, where you think about it, you write about it, you vent. You might even do some painting or some drawing to get it out, to get out what you're feeling. And then for the rest of the day, you then distract yourself when you're feeling sad and sorry with healthy distractions. And healthy distractions are, who would like to tell me? Some of them might be the box breathing that we did in March. You know, breathe in for 4 counts through your nose, hold for 4 counts, and breathe out through your nose for 4 counts and hold for 4 counts. Havening technique, you know, this one that we'll do later on today, hopefully, if we've got time. And exercise, and work. Work can be a healthy distraction. The next question you've given us is, I've got a facial difference. I was born with it and thinking of having kids. Should I? That again is a very personal decision. Can you go for some genetic counselling? Is that something that you would like to pursue? is that applicable to you? Many people living with a visible difference or a facial disfigurement or a craniofacial syndrome experience this and question themselves whether or not they would like to have children because of many different reasons. And passing it on might be just one of the reasons. If you had a child, would they, and they also had your facial difference, would that be okay? You've got the lived experience and you would know some of the issues that you faced and how your family did or didn't help, or what was supportive and what was not supportive. And you would perhaps have the opportunity to help your child in ways and means that your family did well, and then you'd like to continue, or didn't do so well and I would like to change. Maybe some counselling might be in order. And ultimately, if you've got a facial difference and you were born with it or not born with it, such as me, if you were thinking of having children, it's ultimately your choice whether or not you're going to have them or not. But they are a joy to have. They are a lot of stress and a lot of fun and a lot of challenging times, but they are well worth it if you choose to. Next question. Oh, got an itchy nose. I need to have a drink too. Next question is, help. My family doesn't accept me and put me through many uncalled for surgeries. I'm angry with them. Ooh. Well, navigating through our expectations of what our family did or did not do when we were growing up is always difficult. You know, they should have done this, they should have done that. Well, most parents try and do what they think is best for the children. And, you know, in this particular scenario here, the person didn't feel that their family is accepting of them, and you didn't think that you needed a lot of the surgeries that you've had. This is tough. Forgiveness here is a huge key. Forgiveness is not letting them off the hook, nor does it say, if I say I forgive them, say that everything they did or didn't do or have done that is good or that it isn't didn't have any consequences, or that you are not experiencing those consequences still in your life. Forgiveness doesn't also mean, because, you know, some people say, oh, forgive and forget. And that's not true. I have forgiven many people for many different things, from the bullies right through to my, right through to my teachers, right through to family members. That doesn't mean that you get to forget. You forget. Forgiveness is a process, and it begins with saying the words, for example, Mum and Dad, I choose to forgive you for not accepting me. And you don't even have to say that to their face, because that probably would hurt them. This is powerful because it is you choosing to forgive. You choosing to mouth the words, I choose to forgive you. That helps to release perhaps what was not serving you well, the feelings of anger and frustration. I hope that helps. Sometimes we have to warm up to the idea of forgiveness, and sometimes it's really hard to forgive. But when we hold on to things, it manifests in our bodies, in the way we're thinking, and really the other person, they don't really even know what they're doing or what they've done to actually be sorry a lot of the time. And a lot of the time, if the family did it, and the family members did it, well, perhaps they've got their own insecurities that they were working with and trying to deal with. Doesn't make it easier, doesn't make it any better. It just maybe sheds some light on things that you may not have thought about before. Next question. I used to love arts and crafts, and now I struggle with arts and old hobbies because I can only see out of one eye. Join the club, I say. What do you do? Oh dear. Thank you very much for that question. Oh, I appreciate that question. Practice makes better, never perfect. And you may be able to find workarounds. You will be probably experiencing very much frustration, but again, you acknowledge and label your feelings and try and find workarounds. For example, up until last year, hang on, I've got to have another sip of my cuppa. Have a join. Join me. I didn't know how to sew, with a sewing machine, let alone an overlocker. I love overlocking much better. It's faster. I don't like threading the overlocker. I've got an old-fashioned four thingy threader one. And, for example, I've had to learn that placing white or your thumbnail or your nail behind the needle to be able to see where to place the thread and hopefully get the thread, and also use tweezers at the other end to get it out, is a good workaround. Also using glasses also. Using visualization techniques might be able to help you, to be able to visualize yourself doing it again, and doing it again may be of benefit. Or perhaps try different hobbies, swimming, dancing, learn how to write your memoirs. Next question. I think it's our final question. This is 5 questions, guys. Whew, you guys have been busy. The question is, I don't want to fall into depression. The medical system I feel let down by. I hope that surgery was going to fix it and make me feel better. It didn't. How do I move forward? Well, firstly, I want to acknowledge how brave you are. This is very similar to another question that we've had previously today of, I'm not feeling good. I don't have very good self-esteem. I want to say to you, I want to talk about the medical system a little bit, and to say that you are not alone. Sometimes people are denied surgery because it's seen to be cosmetic. I had cosmetic surgery before the age of 4 or 5, to bring my pupil around to the front, and that was seen to be cosmetic because, and therefore, lots of cosmetic surgeries, or what's the word that I'm looking at? Procedures are not funded because it's not seen to be necessary. It's not seen to be a necessary thing, although it is for the social and emotional well-being of the person. Yeah, isn't it? And other times, surgery, which was supposed to fix it or make me normal, didn't go as expected, and we are disappointed. I was just wondering, just curious, with this person who wrote this question, were you offered specialist counselling before and after surgery? Why is that important, you might ask? Well, it's to navigate your expectations, nut out the reasons of why you wanted surgery and what the surgery is going to do or not likely going to do, and whether you're going to go ahead with that kind of surgery or another kind of surgery, or perhaps, since you've chatted to someone who gets it, perhaps you will wait. The difference between a good or excellent medical outcome compared to our own expectations of what surgery will do for our self-esteem and appearance, whether or not it exceeds it or has the opposite and leaving a scar tissue there before, yeah, that's really difficult. So sometimes surgery will be great and our expectations will be met or superseded, and sometimes surgery won't meet our expectations and therefore in this case has found us to be rather sad and wanting explanations. Moving forward, you need to acknowledge your feelings. I've said it a lot today, and acknowledge them and know that it's okay to feel grief that this expectation of yours didn't come to pass. And if you don't want to fall into depression, try and find a support group or a good counsellor and seek some assistance. And know, catch cry is, remember that it's okay not to be okay, and to practice some self-care and being kind to yourself this week. This is havening, isn't it? And around and around. Awesome box breathing, as we've said today before. So next week or next month's topic is all about parenting. How do we parent a child living with a facial disfigurement? How do we parent living with a with facial disfigurement? How do we parent whilst living with a facial disfigurement, a child? Thank you very much for coming. And we will be back next week. Same time, same channel at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Until then, thank you very much for coming, and I will find my outro and say goodbye.
By golly gosh, it's the end of Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk, and that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember that all information given during this episode is for general application only. If you have any specific medical issues, as always, consult with your medical practitioner. Like, subscribe and share on whatever platform you find us on. For more information, please connect with Karibu Anawim on our website at karibuanawim.com or email us at inquiries@karibuanawim.com.